How's everyone, and welcome back to another Bork No Game video. First time here, welcome aboard. Today's video is going to be about a global reroll guide, and this is not going to require pretty much BS Tweaker or rooted devices. This is a focus on using a Crunchyroll reroll. All right, so we're going to go here into account link, and you're going to unlink an account. Now, the reason why you're doing this is I'm already into an account that's pretty much gone through the reroll process, but you want to unlink here just because it's a little bit easier. You're going to go ahead and input your stuff, and after you're pretty much done with that, you're going to be presented with this screen, and you're going to remove that account link. All right, the reason why you do this is so that you can essentially relink it to a 0 account that you can see here on the left hand side. And you're going to go ahead and click data link, and then you're going to link a Crunchyroll account. Now you're going to link that same Crunchyroll account that you unlinked on the other device. Put in all your stuff. You're going to be presented with this screen that's pretty much saying, hey, do you want to account link this Crunchyroll account? Yes. And then you are going to essentially link with no player name, no player level. All right, so what that is pretty much doing is saying like, hey, you are now a brand new player with this Crunchyroll account versus the account that had stuff on it previously. Okay, so we're pretty much going to close our Princess Connect with data in it and then reopen it. And then once we reopen it, we're going to go into data link, and then we're going to go to data link again, and we're going to link that Crunchyroll account that technically has no player name, no player level. You can see it right there. Good to go. No information whatsoever. You're going to link, and it's going to overwrite pretty much any account data that was previously on the other account. You're going to hit OK. We've overridden, and now technically you are starting a reroll with no data whatsoever. You can do this on pretty much iPhones, Android devices, any device. The only requirement is you have 2 devices, and pretty much you can link to a dummy account with no data whatsoever on it. And now we're pretty much going to go through the reroll process for Princess Connect, and that's how you pretty much do the reroll. We're going to do this twice just in case, the first time is confusing. So let's get right into this. If you made it this far into this video, by the way, consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. Drop a like and a comment. Once we hit 7,500 subs, we're doing a giveaway, and I hope you're having a fantastic day during this reroll. Now, a couple tips: if you are rerolling and you don't know what to reroll for, check out my reroll tier list guide. I'll drop it down in the links, and I'll leave a link at the end of the video. But for the most part, the characters that you want to reroll for are going to be people like Makoto, Nozumi, and maybe Maho. If you're into PvP, then you can go for pretty much, who is it? It's going to be Anna, Ayo, and Hatsune. Hatsune has like some pink hair, looks very unique, and pretty much those are the characters to reroll for. Of course, it's up to you whether you actually want to reroll. I'm assuming if you're checking out this video that you want to reroll. Now, I would say the first time downloading this game, it can take up 15 to 20 minutes. But after you've pretty much done downloaded the game, you never have to do it again. And the reroll method is, maybe 10 minutes at most afterwards, which is pretty good. And if you're wondering, this reroll method using the Crunchyroll account link, you are granted 3 multis, which is pretty good. You can do up to 2 or 3 multis pretty much after you've completed all of like the stuff that I'm going to show you here, which is like the tutorial phases. And I think that's pretty much good enough to start off with an account. All right, so you're just going through the motions, getting introduced into the game. It's showing you the mechanics, like, hey, this is essentially how you play. One of my greatest things is like using a tank. So if, for example, you don't know what a tank is, people like Pecorine, who sits in the front, and they have skills where they can recover their own HP by themselves, and they have high defensive stats. Those are usually tanks, and they're usually frontline. Check out my other guides if you want to see how to properly play Princess Connect, because one of the biggest mistakes I feel like people need to know is don't start building like characters who sit in the front and they're not tanks, because what ends up happening is you can't properly progress through story. Chapter 5 is usually the stump point where most people get stuck at. So it's either you don't have a magical DPS, you don't have a tank, or you don't have both of those, which is really bad. All right, so one of the things that you can also do as you're playing through the game is pretty much make it so that you are using your level ups advantageously. Don't quickly claim stamina if you can. Don't try to claim all the rewards if you can. Try to pick and choose. That way you can maximize the amount of stamina that you have as you are going through the game. All right, so right here you can see we are learning how to pretty much put on gear. Gear in this game, by the way, isn't really like other gear in other games. What I'm trying to say is gear is more like materials that will help your characters increase in ranks. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do that reroll that we were talking about earlier, and we're gonna pretty much skip through this. And who do I get? Who do I get? Who do I get? And we get Io. Io is okay. She's good for PvP, but I should probably get Makoto. She's like a girl with like some purple hair, has a nice sword. It's a pretty cool looking character, I would have to say. Best unit for clan battle. It's very difficult to get her if you don't reroll for her. The other characters will be easier to obtain outside of Makoto. All right, so we're gonna go here and go through a little bit more of the reroll process, but for the most part, just going through some more gameplay. Now, one of the things with Princess Connect, the part that'll hook you most likely are the aspects such as arena and clan battle. And it looks like an idle game, it plays like an idle game, but there's a lot of complicated like hidden features behind the idle factor, as in like you can optimize like buffing units, optimize healers, optimize attackers. There's certain teams where it's like, the synergy is right there. Sometimes you can, there's characters who can boost like the ultimates, and if you pair them with certain units, they perform even better. So it's about min-maxing those subtle things that'll make you really fall in love with Princess Connect. All right, so let's go ahead and go through here. We're going to claim some of our rewards. Note that these aren't the rewards that you want to claim. After we go through this, we'll go through like pretty much the login screen that you'll be presented with all the time. And then you're going to click OK, and then you go into your present box, and then you're going to claim all the pre-registration rewards, which is roughly 3,100 gems. And then after that, if you're doing the Crunchyroll link, you're going to go into missions, and then you're going to claim some more stuff. That way you have more gems. With this, you get an extra 2,000, so you have 5,100 gems, which is enough for 3 multis like we talked about. And now you're going to roll either 2 or 3 more times. I'm going to do some rolls right here, just so y'all see, this is the full reroll process. It's not just like 3-star that we got earlier. Right here, we didn't get anything. So obviously this account is already a reroll. It doesn't really matter because you want at least, 2-3 stars, ideally, if you're going through these rerolls. That way you can max out everything. I keep getting nothing. It's really terrible. I wish I got something better. This is definitely a reroll, if you know what I mean. If you're like this deep already there and you have not seen a single like rainbow, yeah, you might as well reroll, in my opinion. Okay, so we're gonna be like, all right, I don't want this account. We're gonna go into menu. We're gonna do like the account unlink again. Go to account unlink. We're gonna click our Crunchyroll, remove that account. We're pretty much removing. Put all your stuff in. Afterwards, do account link again. See it's empty. You close. Now you're going to go back into the other device. You're going to clear out the data so that pretty much everything is reset. You're going to pretty much wait for it to load up, and then it's going to have 0 data again. That way you can pretty much overwrite any data whatsoever that was left on it. All right, do account link. You're going to input all of your stuff for Crunchyroll. Account link, good, player name, player level, 00. And now you're going to hit OK. And now we're pretty much going to wait a bit and then go back to our other account, pretty much close out Princess Connect, reopen it, and we're going to account link again with pretty much, the player name empty, player level empty, this, that, and the third, and you can go about your day re-rolling more and more. That way you are fresh, you are good to go, and that's how you pretty much re-roll. All right, so if this video was helpful, feel free to subscribe, like, drop a comment. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much for getting this far and watching. Good luck on your rerolls. One of the hardest parts in rerolling in Princess Connect is pretty much having the patience for it. But at the end of the day, you don't have to reroll if you don't want to. Just do it so you can, do a little bit of pulling. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.